school, sports, looks, accomplishments. People aren't reverse engineering their kids for happiness. They're engineering them to make them look good.
Yeah.
Parents, stop fucking up on some real shit. Fuck you. Like, you should not be using your kids as a tool to make you look good. You got your perspective. I just want to be happy. Don't you want to be happy? Super excited about today's podcast. I have Allen Robinson, superstar wide receiver for Chicago Bears, former Jacksonville Jaguar. Why don't you tell the Vayner Nation a little bit just about yourself and the whole? If somebody was just meeting you, they're like, yo, what's good? Who are you?
Yeah, so for me, growing up, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, I think, again, now that I'm in Chicago, it's very similar. So a lot of things as far as me growing up, I can just kind of relate to as far as city-wise, things like that, and also even, going to Penn State, I give a lot of respect to Detroit and to my parents, because that kind of molded me to be, everything at where I'm at today, even as far as, knowing how to get through adversity, knowing the value of just having a work ethic. I think that's something that's very, like, not understood for a lot of people. People are given a lot of things, even when it comes to me, and just kind of being able to, dig back into different situations and relate different situations in my life. I can kind of attest to things that when I was younger, things that my dad told me, things that was instilled in me from. Give me something.
Give me I love that, and that's what I'm about, as you know. So, like, give me a straight up story right off the bat of something that you either did that was good, bad, or indifferent, or somebody did something bad, good, or indifferent to you, and Pop said.
I would say a thing that really sticks to me in high school is, for me.
So you're in high school.
I'm in high school.
How good of an athlete are you at that point?
At that point in time, I'll probably say I'm a decent athlete. I'm kind of smaller. This is my freshman year. Actually, I would say going into high school. So like from the 8th grade to the 9th grade. I wanted to go to the public school, that was around.
Because your friends
around my area, because my friends were going there, a lot of the coaches and things like that knew me. They had watched me play Little League and stuff like that growing up, But again, in middle school, I wasn't the best student. I would get in trouble, doing stupid stuff,
Dumb shit.
Getting suspended from school. You know what I'm saying? Like the normal like stuff. So my parents, they wanted to send me
and paint
away.
the picture for me. How rough or not rough? Like in the scale of like 1 is like rough shit to like 10 is like Beverly Hills. Like where does your neighborhood that you grew up in the Detroit area?
So I grew up. Like growing up, I grew up actually in Detroit, and then we actually moved to Southfield. So I would probably say I went from like a 2 to 3 to like a 5.
Okay.
So, but again, just kind of, and even in that situation, I'll kind of dive into that a little bit later. But going back from 8th to 9th grade, for me, I wanted to go to the public school. That's where everybody who was familiar with me, I was familiar with everybody. But my parents wanted me to get away from that. And they wanted me to get away from that to have a different experience, because they saw in their eyes, they saw where they thought I was headed. So.
And was that professionally from a sports standpoint?
It was
or just who you were because I get the privilege
so it just
of knowing
was
you.
Going
they just
down,
knew you had something.
Yeah,
as a person.
and they just didn't want me to go down the wrong road. Getting caught up in stuff with my friends and stuff like that. So they sent me to a prep school, an all boys prep school at that, which is like.
Were you just like dead?
I was devastated.
Like when they really finally laid down the like you're going. When probably Pops looked at you and said you're going. Did you like literally? I'm trying to think of your age group. Did you go like on AOL? Or like, did you go outside and be like, "Yo, fuck this"?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
I know what you did.
So
you went to your 3 best friends, said, "This is some bullshit."
Because they had like 7-on-7s and stuff.
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for me, I didn't know nobody who was going out there. It probably was like an hour and some change away from like where I lived.
Did that school have good diversity because they had good sports, or was it a bunch of white kids?
A little bit of both. The sports had diversity, but
the rest of school did it.
Kind of even
cliche.
With that.
No, really, right?
Yeah.
Like good prep school, wants to be good at sports, bring in the athlete.
Yeah.
Of course, America.
Fresh Prince.
It's all right. Fresh Prince.
So
I love that.
So like that's exactly what it was.
Did you like think of yourself as Fresh Prince?
For sure, especially once I was like a senior.
Yeah, and you are cute, so I can see how you can pull that off. I get it. Go ahead.
So. So then you throw all that in the mix. So then, like, and this is probably like halfway through my 8th grade year,
half through 8th grade year when they told you this is locked.
Or this is like the play, like this is like in motion, So I go to like kind of like.
Did they give it to you hard, like those kind of parents, or did mom like subtly start hinting
subtly,
you?
subtly, because even this school, like,
you
could take visits, you know what I'm saying? So I missed my own day at like regular school to take a visit to this school, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it was like
this is corny,
the most boring thing I've ever been a part of in my life. I'm like, I do not want to go here. Like, so.
So you like went through, got in the car, and you're like, Mom, I'm not going.
Yes, that's exactly, like, literally exactly how it was. So then you go like a little bit. So then my dad's like, you know, like they had like a 7-on-7, you know, kind of like in the spring. So my dad took me up there. I didn't get out the car. I told him like I wasn't going there. Like, I didn't get out the car. So long story short, I had a conversation with one of my, in the 8th grade with like one of the teachers. And he's like, you know, everybody raise your hand who's going to Southfield High School. That's like the public school. Then it's like another school like that's like across town. You know what I'm saying? Raise your hand if you're going to this school. I didn't raise my hand for neither. And I just was that kid. So he like, so like, where are you going to school? You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm going to Orchard Lake. And he's like, no, you're not. Like, you can't like get into Orchard Lake. You know what I'm saying? That kind of vibe. And from that moment, it switched.
Interesting.
It switched. From that moment forward, it switched.
No.
Yep.
So, God, I fuck with that. So
I'll never
that's who
forget
I
that.
am. Like, when somebody said you couldn't, it made it interesting.
Yep, I'll never forget that. Like, that was like the moment, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm with it. Like I'll accept the fact that, I'll accept the fact that my parents want me to go there. I'm going to go here, and that's
just
that's
to stick it to Mr.
Exactly,
Jones and
for
science.
sure, for sure. And again, that's kind of where it was at for me. And then
And what happened? Did you? Now I'm really into this story. Do you love it in September when you get there? Is it instant love? Do you hate it the first 3 months and then it got good?
I hated it the
Did
first year.
some senior girls start liking you and you're like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Like
I hated it the first year. I'll tell you why.
Full year.
Yep. So for me, I'm playing freshman football. But mind you, I'm small. I play running back and cornerback at this time. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a pretty good player, but going to any other school besides that one, I wasn't going to play freshman.
You were not.
No. So I'm playing freshman, and this is frustrating. And
you
I'm telling my dad.
You wouldn't have played? Or
no,
you
I would have
played
played either JV or varsity.
Got it. So their school team was that good?
Yeah, they were good. I'm not going to lie. They were good, especially on varsity. But still.
At the time, you're like, fuck this.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Okay,
it's
but
like,
in hindsight,
I'm like,
now that you're a superstar football player, you can say.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm like telling my dad.
And what, you didn't have your growth spurt yet?
No, I probably was like 5'8" at the time.
And then? How'd it go?
So
5'8" freshman.
So then fast forward to basketball season. I'm on freshman basketball. And I tell my dad, I'm leaving this school. Like, this is ridiculous.
I hate it academically because it's probably harder and fuck that. And
grading scale crazy. I'm on freshman football, freshman basketball. But then
what about socially?
Socially, it was different. You know, I still kind of had like my culture of people who kind of came from the city as well. And we all kind of in the same mindset. Like, we all come from the city. Like, we don't want to be here.
I see. Day one, you're looking around. You're like, I got you.
And like, we don't want to, you know what I'm saying? We're all kind of on the same page. Like, our parents got us out here. You know, like, it is what it is. The school used to send a bus to the city to pick us all up at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
So they were your homies.
Yeah. So we used to all take the bus in the morning, like every morning. Like, we hate this. Like, why are our parents sending us out here? Like, we all just want to go to our neighborhood schools. Like, so then fast forward to basketball. I'm on freshman, coming off the bench at that. So I'm like super.
You hate
pissed.
life.
It's the worst. So I think the first 5 to 6 games.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Just knowing how successful you've been at the NFL level, I'm so happy right now. So much of what I do is for the 14-year-old me. I had nobody to look up to. There was no entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. There was no cool entrepreneurship. There wasn't even entrepreneurship. I'm just so happy right now because I know right this second, whether it's right this second or in 4 weeks when somebody sees this, there's like a 15-year-old that just now gets to use this comp as I'm on the bench in basketball. Yeah. And I think it's over, but wait a minute, what? Let me keep listening. Go ahead.
So first 6 games, I have like come off the bench. I'll take that back. First 2 games I came off the bench. I came off the bench in the first game, I had 28. Came off the bench in the second game, I had like 26. So
you went crazy.
Yeah, so now I'm starting. Next game, I have like 25. Next game, 26. Next game, like 28. Next game, balling. 30. Halfway through the season, I'm on JV. But mind you, I started off freshman on the bench. Yeah. So then I get moved up to JV. Then I do the same thing on JV pretty much. And then like the coach comes to me, he's like, look, like I didn't want to start you, to kind of mess up like the chemistry because like we already had our starting point guard and everything. But then we have like our league playoffs, even though it's JV. So I started for the playoffs. Wow. We end up losing the first game, but now things are kind of starting to change a little bit. Because
you're getting some clout in school.
Yeah, and just like it's more of a
it's good.
Yeah, so
it's flowing.
And again, like it was very competitive from like from a sports standpoint because you got a lot of kids coming from all different places to come to this school to play sports. So it's also 2 freshmen who came in the same year as me who played varsity.
Wow.
They end up transferring their sophomore year.
Really?
Yep. Both of them end up transferring as sophomores.
Did either one of them go on to have good college or pro careers?
No, they did not. I think one of them he ended up playing in college, but I don't think he went to any big schools. But So then, and shout out my boy Juwan Moody and CJ because they both were my guys, but they both ended up transferring their sophomore year, and then that's kind of when now
it opened up for you.
But everything started to just kind of change. You know what I'm saying? Because I kind of was the guy who was like the grinder. You know what I'm saying? They came in, they played varsity. You know what I'm saying?
And they had the fucking clout. They had the hype.
Yeah, but everything just kind of started to change. And then going to my sophomore year, I'm like 6'1.5" now. So I go from 5'8" to 6'1". You know, so that's like
5 inches matter, Dustin.
Everything started to change, and I ended up playing varsity. I started off the year on JV my sophomore year. I actually didn't play football because I was hurt from growth spurts. Like I couldn't do nothing. Like my body was just like sore, like for real. So I didn't play football my sophomore year.
Hold on, Allen Robinson, who you are right this second, did not play sophomore year.
Nope.
On some, my body hurts.
Yeah, like I couldn't run. Like I couldn't run. I couldn't do
right,
nothing.
Because you changed, right? All of a sudden, you're not a running back's body.
Exactly. So like
You're
my whole body has changed.
As a corner, even. Like, it's
so I
crazy.
go from like 5'7", 5'8" to like 6'1.5", 6'2". So my whole body has like changed, and like I'm progressively getting better. But like over the summer, like I couldn't do summer workouts and stuff. So by the time November, December hit, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to play basketball. So then I played basketball. I started off on JV. Those dudes kind of transfer throughout the course of the year. It's a lot of stuff. Like they're missing games. Like it's a lot going on. Like my school is like literally like the NBA when it comes to like dudes who like I don't want to be here. You know what I'm saying? Again, you got dudes like not coming to practice just because like they're going through like a transfer process. They're looking at other schools and stuff. So long story short, they end up transferring. I get moved up to varsity into my sophomore year, and then the following year now I'm on varsity. I'm 6'3". Everything's like
locked.
Yeah.
Junior year football, what happens?
I have a good year. I play
wide receiver.
I play receiver. I play receiver and corner.
So you were corner and running back. Prior to that, could you always catch?
I could always catch. And I remember having a conversation with my dad after hitting the growth spurt. They like, you know, because I didn't play my sophomore year. So then like that whole the whole spring after basketball, I was like, all right, like you're about to play receiver. I'm like, damn, I play running back my whole life. Like I don't know how it really is to play receiver, you know. So I mean,
any advantages from playing running back?
A ton. How you just see the field and movements and stuff is different. Even when you catch the ball and how you like press blocks.
So one of the things that's crazy, and obviously I quadrupled down once you signed with us. Like watching you, like. Do you like? I'm about to give you a huge compliment. You know, in comparison to all the Jet receivers I've watched and like through the years, like your separation sometimes feels uncomfortable. Like, do you think that's running back shit?
For sure.
Because you really just got
it's being able to move
it,
and even like when you catch the ball and like seeing different like angles and things like that is all in I would attest to being a running back. You know, because I played running back. I mean, I played running back my whole life up until my junior year in high school. So then I played receiver my junior year, senior year, freshman year in college, sophomore year, junior year in college. Before I got to the NFL, that was the only time I played receiver. Was like those 5 years.
When did it click, receiver?
I'll probably say going into my senior year.
During that spring and summer?
Yeah, during that spring it clicked. I would say basketball too, both. I just started.
Did you think as a freshman that you were going to be, or a sophomore, you were going to be a basketball player?
For sure. Me and one of my high school coaches used to have a bet. He's always telling me your first offer is going to come from like your first big offer is going to come from football before basketball. And then we used to always go back and forth with it. And like going into my senior year, like after my junior year, like I'm like literally taking a nap. He like texted me a number. He's like, yo, call this number. So I called a number. They answered the phone. It's the Minnesota coaching staff. And that was my first offer. Actually, my first offer was a Big Ten offer.
That's cool.
So after that, you know, everything just changed. It got real because my parents and shout out to my parents because throughout the whole process of it, like my mom is still at my house right now, has like a whole thick book of like everybody that like sent me letters, the places, the schools that I wanted to go to, us sending out questionnaires, us making like highlight tapes and things like that, sending them to different schools and stuff. So my parents definitely were heavily involved.
Were your parents athletes?
They were not. I just think that for my parents, you know, from 5 years old, I probably have been one of the most competitive, probably even before that, probably one of the most competitive kids in sports that like you probably could.
Did you cry when you lost?
Of course. Like
I cried basically until I was like 12. if I lost in anything. I was also so confident. I was delusional.
Same.
I cried because I was stunned I didn't win.
Same. And then I remember it used to be so bad, and my dad was like, "Look, like you win a lot of games."
You stop crying.
Yeah, like you win a lot of games.
Dick.
I know. So, and I always tell people, having, what I'm saying, having kids and like having, like, I don't know how I would want to introduce like sports to my like kids.
Well, there's a huge different variable. When I was doing a wine show on the internet back in the day, I had Wayne Gretzky on because he had a wine, which is super cool, greatest hockey player of all time. And super funny story. His people, before we got on set, were like, "Yo, Wayne's very introverted. He's not gonna even say what's up. It's not bad. Just don't worry about it." I'm like, "Cool." Of course, I'm thinking I'm the most charismatic fucker on earth. We're gonna be best friends in 2 minutes. Sure enough, like just one little opening, and I didn't know this. I didn't know this because I don't do homework. I mentioned that I was from Belarus. He's like, "My grandfather's from Belarus," which was cool because I didn't know. And like the greatest hockey player having Russian descent makes sense. We got into a conversation then because there was something wrong with the camera actually, and somehow we got into him saying that he wouldn't let his kids play hockey, and I thought it was super fresh, and that's with your story, right? Like it's the same with me as an entrepreneur. Like I think every day about my daughter and son. I'm like, I'm not going to pressure them to be an entrepreneur, and I'm not even sure I want them to be because you know what happens.
Yeah.
It's going to be comparison city. Now in baseball, we have a whole wave right now of kids who are coming up who are the juniors.
Yeah.
Vlad,
Yeah.
Tatis, Biggio, Bichette. I mean, it's crazy in baseball right now. We see it in football, right? The Bosas,
Yeah.
right? You see it, but like it's an interesting conversation of like, do you want your child to do it when they have to look up to something?
Yeah.
You're gonna have some real all-time success.
For sure. I mean, for me, honestly, I wouldn't. I'm kind of selfish in that sense. I tell people all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like when when I have a son, I want him to play quarterback. I tell everybody that. But and
you want to make him the player you wish through to you.
And
your
that's
whole
just
life?
kind of that's just kind of the selfish me. But I think in general of sports, like I would love for them to want to play sports. I think sports molded me in a lot of different ways. You know what I'm saying? It taught me how to go through adversity. It taught me, the value of a work ethic. You know what I'm saying? It taught me the value of perfecting a craft in the sense of just learning a craft and wanting to perfect it.
On craft for everybody who's listening. By the way, if you're listening, we're about to get to calls. Put in your phone number on Facebook, especially if you're a Bears, Penn State, and Jags fan. I want to give you that at bat. Or as you're listening, adversity, mindset, high school life. Alan, how much, and I think this confuses people, how much film work have you done in your career? How much film?
A lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
like tell the averages out there. Like, I think they just don't realize how much studying you fuckers do.
Yeah, a lot. That's the thing. I mean, most of our days is watching film. If you look at even like now, just like when we come into the facility, like we're in a facility 10 to 11 hours a day. I'll probably say.
Do you like film work or do you hate it?
I do. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
And are you like straight up looking for like, oh, this dude on the Lions, he has a tick. Like you're looking for the subtlest shit.
When you're watching defenses, watching tendencies, watching players' weaknesses. Also, for me, I like watching other receivers. Right now, even in my iPad, over this next month before I get back to OTA time, I for sure, watch all of Amari Cooper's targets, watch all of Keenan Allen's targets. Just guys who are.
Big shout out to Keenan Allen when he was coming out of Cal. I wanted the Jets to take him in the first round. All my friends were making fun of me. He slipped to the third round, I believe. Yeah. And has had an iconic career.
He's a beast.
And if I was the Jets owner, we would have gotten the benefit of that. Anyway, nonetheless, Al.
Yeah, so just watching guys like that, like Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, because you see these dudes who are, very good receivers.
On that note, pre-game workout, post-game daps, are you the guy that talks to guys before the game? Are you a guy that talks to people after game? Or you talk to nobody, never, ever?
After game for sure.
So
before game, it just depends. It depends on
if you went to college with them and you're your boy.
It's tough to say.
Like, would you go up to you play the Falcons next year? Will you go up to Julio if you're both running there early, even before the sun?
Yeah, probably,
early. Will you be like, yo, good year, hope
for
you're
sure,
doing well,
for
safe
sure,
well,
for sure.
stay healthy, fam, like that kind of shit.
Definitely. Because again, I mean, you see,
because you're competitive,
dudes, for sure.
So I'm like,
but see, this is the thing about football. Personally, I'm competitive, but me personally, I'm not going up against Julio.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So just
it's
I'm kind of
like fuck the Falcons.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But you know what I'm saying?
I've always
now
wondered,
cornerback wise,
corner.
No. Because I'm real cool with Darius Slay, and we play against each other.
You killed
all
him
the
last
time.
year.
Shout out to Darius.
Darius,
That's my
I know
boy.
you're about to get paid, so good for you. But bro, Allen got you last year. That one play that's the play I was referencing on separation, bro.
So like Slay, I won't talk to him before the game. You know what I'm saying? But
after the game,
all love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. Like you know what I'm saying? We came out a year apart. You know, we started off in the same agency. You know what I'm saying? So just over time, I got.
What about when who's in the league that you went to school with?
Adrian Amos.
Oh, I love that.
Did not talk to him before the game, and
But
that's my boy. You know what I'm
after
saying?
the game
Like,
is fun, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What about the week ahead? Like when you're playing Slay, like will you text him on Wednesday? Like, boy, I got you.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't get too caught up. Nah, I don't get too caught up into that. I'm really like when it comes to
all sorts of shit.
When it comes to like during the season, I'm really like probably the most quiet and like boring person.
Good. I know
like,
that.
I don't do like,
bro, I don't even hit you up
during the season. I don't do anything.
I don't literally, I don't even talk to you. I know you're in your cocoon.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Well, that's really what it is. It's just being literally in a cocoon. Because that's the thing. You have your days are 7 to 7, pretty much.
I get it. You got numbers? Yeah. Let's get one in real quick. This is fun, Alan. I get that cocoon shit, man. My big thing is I used to think that I wouldn't dap after the game because I was such a sore sport and used to like spit on my hand for like that in Little League and like cry and leave. As I've gotten older, I'm like, oh, no. I am competitive on the field, but after the game, I'm like, how's your mother? You know, like I'm a human. So, and I've seen that myself in business. Like I'm a human to my competitors in business.
And that's the thing. And then you respect your competitors.
I respect it a lot. I respect anybody going for it for real. Jared.
Hello.
Jared, it's Gary Vaynerchuk and Allen Robinson.
Yo, what's good, Jared?
No way. Oh my goodness, this is life changing. I've entered probably 150,000 of these and it's never worked. But God told me to do it this morning.
Let's go, God.
So here we go.
Good shit, God.
Straight from God. Or intuition or whatever it is. The Garyvee magic. You're a magical man, so you never know with you.
Thank you, brother. Where are you from and what's your question?
So I'm from Colorado, Las Vegas. I'm 21 years old. I spent about 10 and 12 years in both. Mostly from Colorado in the Grand Junction, Aspen area. And I'm a musician, and I played football for 9 years. And, this is probably the only opportunity I'm going to get on this. But one day I'm also going to say, and Alan, I'm going to meet you too now that we've, had this phone conversation. But
definitely.
I'm going to meet Garyvee, and I'm going to change the music industry and the world for the better.
Let me give you a sneak peek. I think the Jets play the Bears in 2 years. So like when that schedule comes out, you should definitely take a look. Now that we might be going to a 17-game schedule, my ability to know who the Jets play 9 years out is changing a little bit. But that's going to be your hack, bro. You can meet me and Allen on the same day.
That's what I was going to say. I don't care how much games I got to go to. I'm going to meet you guys.
Awesome.
And definitely. I'm moving actually to L.A. in the next month, actually. April 2nd is when I've got plotted to move out there.
Good for you.
And I'm going to be doing stand-up comedy and music. And I'm going to be trying to become the biggest thing in the whole entire world. So hopefully I can get onto y'all's level, and then we can meet and be buddies. And
we can meet and be buddies before you get to that level.
Do whatever it takes. I don't care, Gary. You've changed my life with motivation. I've listened to hours of you. I'm going to be at your funeral. Whatever it takes to meet you, Alan. Watching you on the field, the motivation.
If you don't have the context, it's like what?
I appreciate
Thank you so much, brother.
Definitely.
Do you have a quick question? Do you have a quick question, or are you just fired up? Because I like fired up.
Oh, I'm for one fired up that I'm talking to my hero right now, Garyvee. But the question is where do you guys see the league going for one? Like, I feel like the league went through, weird political changes and mainstream changes, the way where social media is evolving. So in the next 5 to 10, where do you see it going? As me, I'm a huge lover of the game. Where do we see it going?
Great question. We're going to drop you off in a second. But, as a huge lover of the game, are you a Broncos fan?
Oh, man. It's hard being a Broncos fan right now. I'm from I got a lot of family from Illinois, and I was born there. I'm from, I lived there till I was 1 to 3.
So you're a Bears fan?
Yeah, I'm actually a huge Bears fan.
Oh, that's what's up.
So
shout out to the Bears.
The Bears and I'm about to be a Raiders fan now, though, because the Raiders
are
moving to Vegas.
This is very important to me. You need to save up some money and buy an Allen Bears jersey.
You promise you, Gary. If
I
you're
believe
showing
you.
me this, I will send you a DM and Facebook you the Allen Bears jersey. I will buy.
Do me a favor.
and-
Do me a favor because I want to see it. And the number one place is good for everybody to know. The number one place that is most guaranteed for me to see it is Twitter. Like if you use at Garyvee, like I just see a lot in that feed. And the 212-931-5731, my text platform, I see a lot. DM, I'm just getting 10,000 a day. It's impossible.
Right.
Alan, thank you, brother. Have a great day. I'm glad you got through. Alan, where do you think the league's going next 5-10 years? I set up this podcast with your thoughtfulness. What's an interesting hot take or a random thought that you have that maybe others don't see?
Yeah,
Anything
I don't.
stand out?
No, not anything
Nothing
too crazy because I think
Can I give you a crazy
the
one?
NFL,
And I'll let
yeah.
you go. I have this weird thought that in 20 or 30 years, the NFL might play without helmets.
I could see that. I could see like the soft helmets like they do with 7-on-7.
You know, it's interesting. I've been thinking a lot about like helmets are a problem because people don't know their faces. Right, like NBA players, I talk to a lot of football players like fucking helmets. Nobody, you know this. You're wearing the AR, but this is real. Like a lot of football players wear big ass chains with numbers on it because they know subconsciously they know nobody knows who they are.
Yeah.
And fuck, wait, if you're a fucking superstar like that at that level, you want to. I would.
Yeah,
I
for
wear
sure.
a big number fucking 5. And so there's that.
I think
and
that-
the concussions and like what would happen if big dudes like that, like rugby? Everyone's like, Gary, they're too big and fast. I'm like, you watch rugby? Those rugby fuckers,
Yeah, they get after it.
They get after it in New Zealand and South Africa and those places. And because they know they don't have helmets, they don't have as much shit go down. You have that helmet, you're fucking just going in like a missile. I think my weird hot take is 25 years from now, NFL, no helmets.
I can see that. And I also think that I think the fantasy football has helped out the whole like facial thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that
I agree.
by people playing
You
fantasy.
play fantasy?
I do not play fantasy.
Did you ever consider it? Have you ever?
No, I never have.
Yeah,
I never have.
too weird?
Yeah, I actually kind of want to play basketball, but I don't know, just the whole like.
Has anybody in the league ever come up to me and be like, yo, have a good game today. I got you in my fantasy
Some
team?
people, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I love that shit.
But I think that have helped out a lot.
You know the whole
again,
sports card thing that I've been telling you
Mm-hmm.
about? I've been thinking about it. I'm like, man, in 24 months, because basketball cards are going through the roof. I'm like, some of these guys are going to like make jokes and be like, yo, drop 30 tonight. I bought 100 of your rookies last night. like just some funny
I could
shit.
believe it.
100%.
I could believe it. And then
100%.
now with the gambling and things like that, everybody
crazy.
like the whole like fantasy thing is going crazy. I'd probably say
Fans are yelling at you
80%
on the
of people
road, right?
who
Go ahead.
I
Say,
ever
talk to you.
encounter
Bring that up.
Yeah, bring fantasy up.
Yeah, you're on the road. You think it's a hostile environment in Minnesota, and Minnesota fans are like, Alan, have a good game. I got you in fantasy.
That's the exact.
That fucks
that's
with
the
me,
exact
Alan.
point.
That's where I get fucking pissed. I get crazy on that shit as a real fan. Like when my crew, like of Jet fans, like quietly, I'll never forget this. My Alex Klein fucking clapped for AJ Green on a play against the Jets in the Jets-Bengals game. I lost my mind. I'm like, we're fucking Jet fans. Fuck your fantasy team. Bench his ass.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if you know we have a soft secondary.
That's how it goes, though. That's really how it goes.
Yeah, man. That's
Everybody, like you
I
can be
know.
on the road anywhere.
That's why everyone's soft. Fuck all of you people. Let's put another number in. I'm getting pissed. Like, if you're a fucking Vikings fan, you can't like Allen. It's a rule.
Some Vikings fan. Hey, it's some Vikings fan that you'll see. I got you on fantasy.
Have a big game, but I hope
Yep.
you lose. They try to hedge you with that
That's
shit.
probably the best feeling.
Fuck you.
That's like
If
the
Allen's
best
a big
feeling
game,
as
you're
a
gonna
player.
fucking lose.
That's like the best feeling as a player in a hostile environment.
Hello?
Of course.
Going into Green Bay.
Cannon.
Yes.
It's Gary Vaynerchuk and Allen Robinson.
I'm not believing this moment right now.
It's happening, bro. Where are you from?
I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Love Knoxville.
Tennessee, not from Nashville.
I get it. I know Knoxville. Well,
You know Knoxville? Okay.
Of course.
I know you have your wine place, or is it wine or marketing that's in Chattanooga?
That's exactly right. So I know Tennessee quite well for that reason. What's
I
your,
mean, you
what's
preach
your,
Chattanooga.
Yep. Thank you, bro. What's your question?
I just heard Alan talking about how he was also really passionate about basketball at one time in high school, playing both and seeing a future in basketball. And I was just curious. I know a lot of athletes are better at one sport. People push them towards one sport more, but they may like the other sport better. I had a friend like that in high school who went to go play in Miami just because he could play football and basketball at the same time. That was really important to him.
Understood.
So I was just curious about that's something that's not really talked about with athletes, and kind of the same thing for entrepreneurship. You lean into what everybody's pushing towards, or what you may be better at,
Or where you think the money is.
do what you're more passionate about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great question. Alan, How did you personally think about that? You loved basketball.
To this day, I love basketball.
I know. I watched you last night.
To be honest, I watch a
basketball game over a football game any day of the week.
For sure.
Yeah.
When it gets around playoff time, it's kind of different. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like actually immersed in the NFL and like after playing in the playoffs and things like that. But yeah, so friends. But for me, basketball, I probably would say was pushed more. I tell people all the time.
How much did you
100 times
debate? Not when you went when Penn. So what happened? What was your most serious basketball offer?
My high school coach told me I could have went to Michigan State and played both. It actually was a guy named Deion Sims. Shout out to Deion, who I played in Chicago with as well. He went to my high school. He went to Michigan State and he played both. You know, so
but what made you go to Penn State?
I wanted to play football. Going into my senior year,
you decided.
Going to my senior year, I had decided. I said I was going to play football in college.
Because. And this is actually a great question that he's asking. I have a feeling you're about to answer. This is a good moment. Why?
Football was it was easier. Not easier in the sense that's like it's easy to do, but for me on the field,
you were better at it.
Way better at it.
And did that?
The game just came easier to me.
So let's talk about it. Does that mean you chose a path that gave you confidence could lead to financial and professional success
for sure.
Over what probably was some? I mean, it's pretty obvious, especially in this last 48 hours I've been with you. Like basketball was a bigger love.
For sure. But I just think that as I started to even my senior year, once I started to really dive in, because I mean I had a really good senior year in basketball, but once I started to dive in to football and to really like put my mind there and like going into my senior year, for me I was all in it, you know. So like I still have like a weird like love for it, you know, but just I don't know, it was just different when it came to like football, you know what I'm saying? It's like when I would step on the field, just my craft and how I would perfect it, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot different. It was a lot different.
Interesting.
And it's so different that it's hard to explain. Because even I tell people all the time, I don't know the last time I've actually picked up a basketball or played like 5-on-5 or something. Just because my passion and my love for the game is so high, so intense. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even want to put myself there mentally like, yo, like let's go to the rec and play 5-on-5. Because I may not leave.
I get that. It's almost like how I think about meditation.
Yeah.
I don't want to meditate because I'm so happy with my mental state. I almost weirdly understand what you just said.
So it's like
when a normal person kind of hears that, like you don't even want to play a random basketball game because you know you might get in it.
Exactly. You know how when people talk about Jordan and they joke about Jordan, they say like Michael Jordan had these car games and like he wouldn't let the person leave. Like they'll be there for like 12. That's how I feel about basketball. So it's like
I have a great Jets Bears story. I told it the other day. I think you guys heard it. My best friend Brandon was a Cubs fan, baseball, and we had baseball cards together. Mm-hmm. And he came over one night to sleep over the night before a baseball card show, and we played Madden. And he took the Bears. He didn't give a fuck about the Bears, but he cared. He was Chicago because he was Cubs. And some miraculous way he beat me after I like destroyed him every other time. And I wouldn't let him go to sleep. It was like midnight, and I wouldn't let him go to sleep until we rematched. And then I could tell he was bullshitting because he was mad that I was forcing him to play. Mm-hmm. So he was like not trying. But then I countered it with like making pretend he was trying and blew him out like 72-0 and was like in his face at like 2 a.m.
Exactly. And that's kind of how, and it's crazy because the last kind of series that I played was intramural. Well, not intramural, but basketball class at Penn State. We had a basketball class.
Okay.
And I played like my sophomore year. And I used to be so intense. I remember playing in the game, scoring like 60, 70 points.
And everyone's like, yo, chill.
Yeah.
Yo, they used to call me a gym class hero because in gym class in high school, I would go hard. Like,
that's how I was too.
I'm trying to find my report card. My report card. Look at this now. This is my high school report card. I got all D's and F's on some real shit. In freshman, sophomore, junior. These are literally my grades. This is my report card. But if you notice, only 4 A's in high school history. Freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year, gym.
What is it? What? Health too, huh? You did your thing in health?
Bro, you don't understand how much I checked the fuck out. I would go into class and read the baseball card guide and the Wine Spectator, sell and sling candy and cards, and just make money and be out.
I got suspended for that early on in school. Slinging candy.
I love it. Cam, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you so much. I mean, I'm going to have friends that can't believe I talked to Garyvee, and I'm going to have friends that can't believe I talked to Alan Robinson.
It's a good day, bro.
A dream moment.
Thank you, brother.
Y'all too. Thank you.
Take care, bro. Let's get one more in. Alan, anything before we get further along and wrap up? Anything you want to talk about? Anything on your mind? Anything you're passionate about? Anything cool?
That's a good question. I feel like for me, I'm passionate about a lot. Actually, I've kind of it's been like a work in progress, but I actually have like some samples and stuff. I had a wave where I was like making swim trunks.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So like, cause this is the thing. So me and my buddies, we would like hang out or something. But if you ever go to like a pool party or something like that, like you gotta wear swim trunks, especially if it's like in Vegas or something. Of
course.
But it's like when you go to like the normal like store to get swim trunks, all of them have like sunsets,
like flamingos and shit.
like everything that nobody wants to wear this, you know? So it's like, so I'm like, damn, like it's no fashionable swim trunks. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just start making some. So even like all the swim trunks that even like my buddies and stuff wear are all the ones that I made.
Get out.
I'm dead serious.
Is there a way to see them anywhere? Do you have a website?
I just have samples right now. So, you know, start the process. I mean, because that's the thing. When you get into clothing is unreasonably expensive, you know what I'm saying, for some reason. So just over the years, you know what I'm saying, I've just been kind of, you know what I'm saying, like making samples, making designs, you know what I'm saying. So it's like
what does your shit look like?
Let me see. Let me see if I got.
Well, there's people listening.
Yeah, I can't show them. So it's fashionable. I got like any like camo, like different kind of camos, plaids, checkerboards. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you would kind of say that's like
anything that doesn't have like a dolphin.
Yeah, they're just more fashionable. Something that you could actually like, you could probably just wear as shorts. You know what I'm saying? But they swim trunks.
I've always thought that like I hate the concept of like going to somewhere where I know I have to go into swim trunks, where I would only wear swim trunks all day because I'm too lazy to switch, and was like, they need to do something with this.
And that's the thing, and that's kind of what I was making. Like I said before, I like the swim trunks that I make, or you know what I'm saying, and that I'll make in the future are swim trunks that you're not just wearing them just because like I gotta go get some swim trunks. So let me go to Dick's Sporting Goods or somewhere and get like these like swim trunks, get these sunsets, sunset surf. You know what I'm saying? This person surfing on my swim trunks. Like, damn, I just want some swim trunks that look cool, man. Like, can I get some camo, something that like
You're
actually
rocking
look
the
a decent,
Babe camo combo
decent
right
fashion.
Now.
I actually love camo. I'm not gonna lie.
I see it. It looks hot. That's funny. Who's this?
Wayne Wool.
Wayne?
Wayne Wool.
Wayne?
Wayne Wool.
Hello.
Wayne Wool.
Oh, man, Gary, what's going on, man?
Life's good, man. Say what's up to Alan.
Yo, what's good?
Alan, what's going on, brother? Look, Gary, it's crazy that I actually got through. I'm actually here in Huntsville, Alabama, so I'm about an hour outside of Chattanooga.
That's what's up.
And I'm actually familiar with the Sasha group up in chat with Mickey, so I just want to say appreciate you for having me on.
So happy to have you, bro. What's good?
Never so. So look, I really wanted to know. I'm a former linebacker, former player, and I really wanted to ask a question to Alan. Like, I have a young daughter looking to have a son one day, but how do you introduce like manhood and concepts of like what it means to be a man to your kids without emphasizing money and emphasizing what it means to like make money? So the things you talk about, Gary, like empathy, kindness, understanding, those things. Like, how do you actually teach that to kids as a professional athlete, where a lot of things are thrown at them and they see it, but how do you just as a person say, hey, this is how you be a good man?
Bro, that's a great. Bro, thank you so much for asking that question. Go ahead, Alan.
Honestly, I would just say it comes down to just like the moral compass of everything. I think if you kind of set the morals of everything, I think that's what people live by, because again, growing up, I mean, my dad and my family, we didn't have a ton of money or anything like that, but everything that my dad just instilled in me in general ultimately translated to me to be able to have success. Again, we didn't talk about, like, yeah, it would be cool for you to get to the NFL and be rich. It just like, what I'm saying, this is what hard work gets you. This is what dedication gets you. This is what being able to fight through adversity gets you. And it's able for you to balance your life and, to push through a lot of different things, because that's the thing. I mean, people go through a lot of different situations, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if you know your goal and you know what it takes to get to your goal and you have the morals to be able to get there, then you'll be able to get there, and then everything else will kind of figure itself out.
Well, what's really crazy about your question, bro, is that the fact that you're even asking it and using words like kindness and empathy, like you don't even know the emotion that's running through my body right now, bro. How old are you?
Man, I'm 31, Gary.
Man, you don't even know. Like obviously, because the Sasha group, which is the office we have in Chattanooga, and Mickey, and you're calling. So obviously you know a lot about me.
Man,
go ahead.
I know everything about you, Gary. Like, no cap. Like, I'm on my social media is the Trap Therapist, but like everything that I do
is about transparency and about understanding how do you actually get to the bottom line without sacrificing yourself. So that was really my biggest thing. I played football in college. I thought I was going to the NFL. Shit didn't happen, so I had to say, how do I get to the end goal without, just go a different path?
And then even
even
then, I tell people all the time, like even from what you're saying right now, listen to you talk, you may not ultimately got to the NFL, but where you got to mentally, is a lot further than anybody else would have been able to get to. And I don't know if football did that for you,
parenting,
or
neighborhood,
what did that for you. But I say that all the time.
Different voices, but let me say this:
bro.
It's true though. You've already won because your perspective for the question is a winning question.
Exactly.
You already know the answer that you asked because you know that I and others, and now more of us, are starting to educate the culture that fuck money.
Exactly.
Look for happiness.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, when people look at me and Alan, they're like, easy for you to say, but they don't know who we were pre-money.
Exactly.
They don't know how happy we were in our process.
And it's a lot of people who have money that you see go through a lot of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you see a lot of people who don't have that much money who are the happiest people. So I mean, you can't even really correlate, the manhood, the kindness and all that to money. It's just its own morals in itself, and then whatever comes from that is going to be success.
And bro, what's real interesting is you have a daughter, right? And you said, I'm looking to have a son, and I understand guy culture. I also first had a daughter, and like what's real interesting.
I'm a proud girl dad. Like I can have 18 more girls, right?
I'm sure you are.
The thing that terrifies me is knowing that my son is going to watch what I do. You know what I'm saying? Your daughter will listen to you. My daughter is the most emotionally intelligent 5-year-old in the world, but my son is going to say, "Well, fuck all that." Let me
give you a little bit of knowledge right here. Your daughter's going to watch everything you're doing too. You want to get really terrified? You want to get really terrified? The way you interact with your daughter is going to be the fundamental framework of how she chooses the person she wants to be with for the rest of her life, whether that's leaning into somebody like her dad or running away from somebody like their dad. So they're all watching. Let's start there. They're all watching. Number two, this is over. You already won. Alan nailed it, which I was just watching Alan. Sir. Like I was like, oh, Alan needs to have his own show. Alan picked up on exactly the game because Alan is the byproduct of great parenting, and so am I. And the fact that you care, once you turn that fear, which I'm not even sure is fear, I would argue that you use the word terrified, and you A, may be terrified, or B, you're just being thoughtful.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
And I'll say that as well, because I mean, even for me, when I think about having a son, it's not terrifying in a sense, but, when you have a girl, you can just be a loving dad, but at the end of the day, having a boy, you know what I'm saying, especially I mean, I don't know about you, but especially being African American, it's a lot of things that you have to like. It's a lot of pressures that you put on your son before you even have a son, because you want to know how to mold them to a lot of different things, So it's and I definitely do understand it, because I can for sure attest to it. When I think about having a son, it's like, damn, like I want to be a loving dad, but I don't want to have too much tough love. Like I don't want to have too much of this, too much of that. Like I want to be an empathetic dad, but I also want to prepare him for the real world.
Here's real life. As the dad of a 7-year-old, you two are gonna have lots of plans and lots of theories, and then it's gonna be Mike Tyson shit. It's really nice that you boys have plans, and then you're gonna have one, and then their personality and their DNA is gonna emerge.
Gotcha.
I had lots of thoughts about my little guy, and a lot of things are like I thought, and a lot of things are not like I thought. And now it's round 5, and I've been punched in the face a whole bunch. And do I have the ability to adjust? Am I Buster Douglas or am I Tony Tucker? Right? And so like you got to figure that out.
For sure.
Gotcha.
By the way, Tony Tucker reference is a real nerdy 1980s boxing reference, which is Tony Tucker was the boxer that made me think Mike Tyson was vulnerable because he fought him quite well, and then the next fight he lost to Buster Douglas. So for all you boxing heads, that was for you.
Gotcha. Man, I appreciate you, Gary Allen, man. It's much love to y'all.
I appreciate
Take
it,
care
man.
of yourself, man. This is what gets me fired up about life. Like that phone call just inspired the fuck out of me.
Yeah, me too.
I feel it. Like
I even say that all the time, not even as far as, like it's a lot of expectations again that you may put on a son or whatever, because it's like, I mean, like you have those expectations and it comes from a selfish a selfish sense a little bit, you know, but it's like you only want the best, but at the end of the day, you got to just take a step back and say,
Alan, it comes from a selfish place.
for sure.
And the only way to be a great parent is to be selfless. And you know this, you grew up in sports. All those delusional parents that are ragging their kids into the ground who have no shot of ever being in the league, these parents are delusional.
Yeah.
And it's selfish. They want to feel good at the country club and say their boy dropped 39. It's fucked up.
I agree.
School, sports, looks, accomplishments. People aren't reverse engineering their kids for happiness. They're engineering them to make them look good.
Yeah.
Parents, stop fucking up.
That's
Fuck
what's up.
you. On some real shit, fuck you. Like, you should not be using your kids as a tool to make you look good. And that happens in African American culture, in Russian immigrant culture, in Asian immigrant culture, in Indian immigrant culture. Like every subset, and even in fifth generation American white, there's plenty of that too. We need to stop.
I agree.
Our children are not trophies representing us. Our children are human beings that we are supposed to be molding, and that requires us to listen while molding with good decision making. Not listen when, 8th grade Alan's like, I ain't going. No, you're molding there.
Yeah.
But that's because they saw the passion of sport and ambition and competition. So they were molding.
Yeah.
If they didn't, but they thought that you'd be 6'3" and catch everything, but you wanted to dance and they made you play football, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
difference.
yeah. That makes
if you
sense.
see a kid who's not good at school, Indian immigrant parent, he doesn't or she doesn't need to be a fucking doctor or engineer. Relax.
Yeah.
There are other ways to win. I know why you want them to be an engineer or a doctor, Asian, Indian, Russian parent. It's because it looks good to your parent or to your sister. But it's fucking up your kid who's going to resent you for life. Stop it.
I agree.
I know you do. I've been listening.
I agree.
So does every other person that had the miracle, and let's call it what it is, the luck of being the byproduct of good parents. That's who you and I are. Shit matters. Give me good parents and a rough situation like you and I had, and I'll show you superstars.
Yeah, for sure.
The end. Let's all set up. Alan, thank you so much.
No problem, man. Thanks
Appreciate
for having me.
you on. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Allen Robinson 12, or you can find me on Twitter, same Allen Robinson 12.
Talk to me about 12. 8 was college?
8 was college, 15 was Jacksonville, 12 was Chicago. For me, I'm a
don't
person
give a fuck?
whereas I like to. I'm saying when I take on new stuff, you know what I'm saying?
You
like,
want new numbers.
Yeah, I want
What was
a
your
whole
co-
new
What was
thing.
your high school number?
My sophomore year, it was my junior year was 32, and my senior year was 1, both basketball and football. And football, my junior year was 14.
All different numbers all over the place.
Yep, and then college I was 8 throughout, and then Jacksonville I was 15 throughout until I got to Chicago.
12.
Yep.
Love it. Thank you, bro.
Appreciate you having me, man.